Welcome to Gnomeregan. I'm your host, Coachable, here to give you some coachable moments. Let's begin. Today's build is based off of Baron Rivendare, and his squad consists of Darkspear Trolls, Plague Farmers, Frostwolf Shaman, Quilboar, Skeletal Party, and Ghoul. Now, if you do a balance check on this, courtesy of Noff, that's NOFF.GG, you'll see that there's no flying in this build. So if you just really want a flying mini, you can replace the Skeletal Party with Drake or Harpies, just because they're AoE damage. And for the first boss, to just get past the chickens, you really need AoE. But as a personal preference, I like using 2 unbound minis just specifically for the first boss. You can take both shields as long as you have the gold, and then you can focus your other minis going straight up the lane where the tomb is. Now for talents, for Baron Rivendare, you want to go with Chill of the Grave, so that way 2 skeletal mages will pop up periodically. For Darkspear Trolls, you want to go with Big Bag Voodoo, so he will heal himself. For Plague Farmer, you want to do Splashing Pumpkins, so that way it'll increase his range and double the splash area. And that's what really helped me on the first boss, is the Poison from Plague Farmer. Now Frostwolf Shaman, you want to get Earth Shield, and Quilboar, you want to use Tunnel Vision. Skeletal Party, go with 5-man, and for Ghoul, you want to use Bone Shield. Alright, so groupings for the first boss. When using Baron Rivendare, if you're able to, include Frostwolf Shaman for that grouping, just so Frostwolf Shaman can heal Baron, heal the tank. You can get pretty far with that unless they throw the chickens in that lane. For the second grouping, go with Ghoul, Darkspear Trolls, and Plague Farmer. This is probably going to be your primary grouping, just because the first boss is a little more AoE heavy, and Darkspear Trolls can definitely focus, while Plague Farmer just destroys everything. And then use your unbound minis to get the shields whenever you're able to, as long as you have the gold. That's the key thing. You can't use Skeletal Party if you don't have the gold. Quilboar is easy because he's cycle and he only costs 2. Skeletal Party costs 4, so it can be a little more challenging. You just have to time it right. And as you can see in this match, my rotation got off, which is why the enemy just started overpowering me, but my Plague Farmer, with his poison, just won the match for us. Great job, Plague Farmer. Now your second boss, your first objective is to take a base. I always take the left one, that's just preference, but you want to stack all your minis on one side, so that way you can take that base, and hopefully if your minis are strong enough, they can keep going towards the boss. Don't worry about the chest in the middle, just because both bases, if they're the enemy bases, then your minis are going to die before they really even get a chance to go to the chest, unless you have a strong tank. So once you get that first base, then just rinse and repeat for the second one. Stack as many minis as you can onto that side. And the first base, once you get it, it's pretty easy to maintain. So you can focus on the second one, and then once you get the second, you can just dominate to the boss. Now once you get both bases, go ahead and get in the middle lane just for that chest. You can just use Quilboar for that, you can use Skeletal Party for that, but that'll definitely help your gold. To take the bases, use a tank before you bring any damage melees out. Just because they're rockets, it is AoE damage, so try and time that right so they're not in a group. And really all you have to do is space them out left to right. You can use your tank on the left side of the base, and then in the same lane use the damage to go on the right side of that lane. Now, one thing to note about using this strategy is at the very beginning of the match, if the enemy comes down the middle lane and you stack all your enemies to, let's say, the left side or the left lane, it's going to pose a challenge just because Darkspear Trolls is going to be the only mini that can really, well, Darkspear Trolls and Frostwolf Shaman are going to be the only minis that can do damage to the middle lane since their range. So if you see them coming down the middle lane, just wait, and it also helps you build up your gold, but just wait until they're close enough so that you can have that battle right next to your base, and then hopefully you can, your stacks grouping can pursue the left lane. Oh, that does it for the second boss. Let's go ahead and collect the reward. Now the third boss, I actually love playing this match just because it's more who gets to the target first, which is your unbound minis are key in this match. Quilboar and Skeletal party, as you can see that I just did, use them to take out the first set of charges, and then you'll be good to go, hopefully for the rest of the battle. In terms of grouping for this match, you really just want to try and use your low costing minis so that way you can maintain your gold with the miner. You can use Baron or Frostwolf Shaman if needed for that extra push, but preferably I just save the gold for the Skeletal party and use them to collect any charges that may come up. I personally just try and split minis left lane and right lane just so there's an even flow, so any charges that come up you can just destroy almost right away. Again, if you need that extra push because one lane is enemy heavy, go ahead and do that, but your goal is to try and have as many minis as you can in both lanes. Using as many low cost minis as possible, you'll find that the rotation with the gold miner comes every time the gold miner comes. You can switch orbs. So send him to the right first, and then the next time he comes up on your selection, you can send him to the left, and every time he will get 3 gold. Doing this just allows for a solid, steady rotation of minis, and it also allows you, if you need that extra push, you can use Baron or you can use Frostwolf Shaman to heal your other minis. Alright, that does it for this build. If you think this build is helpful for you, please like and share the video. If you like the builds I make, go ahead and subscribe so you can stay up to date on any new builds that come out. Thanks, and have a good day.